Hey Pisces, Riverica here, reporting for duty on a trigger. Thank you so much for shuffling states of emergency into adoption spirit magic with me and steering clear of danger. Heartily, we are grateful. In this session, we are exploring how to move forward, minding our business in the highest love and light this May 2023. But before that, some disclaimers. I am not a doctor, lawyer, therapist. I'm a fortune teller. What I offer is no substitute for their services. Furthermore, what I share does not determine your future. Only your intentions and actions do. So please use your gifts of discernment before deciding what you gather and take away. And of course, take only what resonates and blow like a kiss the rest to the universe for cosmic composting into beauty. This reading is intended for fun and games, for shits and giggles, for entertainment, for flexing our mind, heart, body, soul, spirit, emotions, and intuition. And at the least, I hope to cause harm to none. And at the most, I hope I may assist you on your healing path. All that said, let's clear the space and stream in grace to replace. Thank you for holding the intention of seeing only love, and only love we shall see. Mind, body, speech, in perfect oneness, I send my heart along with the sound of the bell. May hairs awaken from forgetfulness and transcend all anxiety and sorrow. Om. Peace. Shanti. Thank you. And you may see that we rolled the number 6 to help us choose our deck. And so I invite you to check out that numerology on your own. And that may help you through this May 2023. And we also have the Tiger's Eye Frog. So I invite you to look up the Tiger's Eye and see how that resonates with you, what jumps out at you. And that may also help you move through May 2023. And the frog as well. Somebody told me once, fully rely on God is how we can think of frog. Fully rely on God. Isn't that funny? So yeah, check that out. Because we're all different psychosocial science experiments, and what resonates for you is different than me. And to help make this reading more meaningful, I invite you to explore that. All right. So this Living Altar, an oracle and spell deck for the Radical Witch by Ilva Drama Marzana Radziszewski and Kiki Robinson. It's one of the only Romani decks in circulation, and you can find it at thelivingaltar.com. And you can find Kiki and Ilva on Instagram. They also have a podcast, the Altars Up Witches podcast, that you may enjoy. And if you want to hear a spooky story about how these cards were made, you can tune into the Romanistan podcast hosted by Paulina Verminsky and Jessica Reedy, when they invited Kiki and Ilva over to share some spooky stories, and they shared a spooky story about how this deck was made. It was super fun. If you're into that kind of thing, right? I have to clarify. Pardon me. I apologize. So, Pisces, you are a whole, full, loving, powerful spiritual being, and so am I. And we thank your source, spirit team, angels, galaxy guides, ancestors, saints, sages, gods, goddesses, universes here for the highest love and light, as well as mine. And we thank your source and my source for immediately shifting the situation into what it needs to be, offering necessary insights, healings, acts of grace, protection. Heartily, we are grateful. And so it was, and so it was, and so it was, and so it was. Thank you so much for making this reading abundantly clear. Heartily, we are grateful. How may Pisces move forward, minding their business in the highest love and light this May 2023? Pardon me. It's like my body just wants to be on the table. Funny, funny, funny. And we have the Death card. Do not be alarmed. Not to be alarmed. Not to be alarmed. This is more a figurative death, like the death of a unhealthy habit that you've been putting a plan of action in to change with a healthy habit, change out for a healthy habit, for example. So I'm seeing the blues. It's reminding me of the Ajna chakra, your third eye, and then the red, your root chakra. So those may be some things that you're tapping into more this month to help you through in the highest love and light. This could also be like dismantling the old earth and rebuilding the new earth, like all the different ways that death plays out. It could be like when the seasons change, right? It seems like a death, but it's just that transition. So let's see. Oh, and I invite you, Pisces, to check out the your moon, your rising, your Venus, to see other readings. They may add some more depth to what's going on. The Death card came up for one other sign. I think it was Scorpio. Is that right? That's funny. Scorpio and the death sign go together. The death card go together. If you're into tarot, you have been learning that. But it was the death spell card, and this is actually the death, what do they call it? The cards. Thank you for being patient with me. This reading is divided into 3 parts. The Witch's Wheel correspondence, the spell, and then the guiding messages. So you can come back to those at any point during this month of May to help integrate or deepen the reading for you. And you may appreciate reading the spell multiple times to help it integrate, to help it activate. You may research a bunch of different witches' wheels and make your own if you haven't done that already, to help just deepen this reading for you. And then those guiding messages, you might just come back and reflect later in the month, or maybe you come back once a week and reflect on it again, or maybe you journal about it. So here we see the death card. The water is calling to me right now, the water and the plants. So those may be some other things that help you play through. You know, emotions are like water. So being able to go with the flow, if it's super intense, being able to go with the flow, go to your special sacred cry spot with your pretty cry towel and cry rainbows instead of fighting it, instead of feeling guilt and shame because you're crying, just to own it and to have your space ready to go. If the situation arises, you can go there and take care of that. Or the opposite, if you have the happy emotions, and how would you appreciate celebrating that? And so you can think about these things and have notions of what you might do if those emotions come up. And the plants, maybe getting out in nature helps you ground and just flush out what you no longer need and replenish you with that beautiful Mother Nature. So the Witch's Wheel correspondence: Earth, winter, north, solitude, midnight, new moon, boundaries, identity, relationship, resource. That identity is jumping out at me. It's one of the 7 adoption cards every human is dealt when they receive a loss and trauma. And it has another side. Maybe yours looks different than mine. Maybe it looks the same. We just don't know. And how our identity, boundaries is right before that. How our identity and boundaries shift in a lifetime, like especially over the past 3 years, for example. So you can have fun playing with those Witch's Wheel correspondence. And here's the spell: only that which is truly received can truly be given. Let me start over. Only that which is truly received can truly be given, and that which is truly given is only that which can truly be received. Such it is with life and all of its lessons. In earnest, I open my heart to receive the ineffable gift of my life. To the source of all things, I return those blessings in gratitude. I sacrifice what I know for greater understanding. I cut ties with the illusion that life is personal. I break bonds. I cancel oaths. I close all back doors and loopholes to delusion in reclamation of my sovereignty. I let what is dead be dead, and what has passed to be in the past. I allow the living to live. My choice in this moment is truly the only thing I possess. There are no bridges left to burn. There are no tables to turn. There are no more projections to distract me from the truth of accountability. Relentlessly, I surrender to the completion of this narrative. Wow, that's intense. That's so intense, especially orphans and adoptees, and so many of us who aren't orphans and adoptees can relate to that and find ourselves relating to that. And that's intense. Thank you so much for that spell. That last line has got me. Relentlessly, I surrender to the completion of this narrative. Those adoptees who have come out of the fog understand how much your narrative has changed. From adoption is the best, it was for the best, to, wow, it's just different, not necessarily for the best. And it's a big deal, changing our narrative, changing the way we view life, walking the healing path, stepping out of the violent cycles. And so big hugs for you for doing the work that you have done and the work that you are doing to make those shifts, to own yourself more completely, more authentically, and to step into a new way of life, to step onto the healing path. And I'm so happy for you and proud of you. And thank you so much for being so courageous and having such vision for yourself. We are so grateful. So the guiding messages: remain true to the spirit of hope that called to you from the deep. Honor the catalyst of your journey. Dissolve, let go, return it all to source. And again, I'm tripping up on the word catalyst, not tripping, but it's jumping out at me because orphans and adoptees are catalysts by our nature. Like what we did to our birth parents and our adoptive parents, we catalyze them and then ourselves. And so this death card is really helping us bring it back to ourselves and own that social contract that we have with ourselves that maybe has gotten put aside with everything we've been through as an orphan or adoptee or a pseudo orphan and adoptee. And so this is a month to really honor that and just put it to rest. And the eclipses and the full moon, it's all right on time. It's all right on time. I invite you to check out some of those astrology readings about the eclipses that have been happening and are going to happen, and the full moon that's coming up, to help you play through May as well, 2023. And that is all I am seeing for you in this reading. Pisces, thank you so much for helping breathe life into adoption spirit magic. Heartily, we are grateful. Until next time, ciao for now. We love you all.